Hello, we are Group 2, and our project for this capstone for SER 517 Software Factory is Travelender. The team members are as listed over here, and the sponsor for our project is Christine Julian from the University of Texas at Austin. So let's have an introduction about what is Travelender. So Travelender is a travel time aware calendar, which means that the main goal of the application is to create a calendar interface that computes and accounts for the travel time between appointments so that conflicting meetings are never scheduled. Basically, it aims to protect the user from scheduling conflicting meetings so that they are never late for an appointment. A user should receive notifications from the application as well as warnings when they are about to schedule conflicting meetings. The application should be customizable in that it should allow user to set a list of preferences such as maximum walking distance in a day or disable certain global modes of transport, and all of these particular preferences should be taken into account while suggesting conflicting meetings. The environmental constraints for this project, as per the project proposal, are that the application should be web based and must run on most modern web browsers, and that design which is compatible with use on smartphone is encouraged. However, since a calendar interface might not scale very well to a mobile device, we are developing a mobile application separately, which are going to consume the same backend APIs as the web application. So the system architecture for our application is based on the AWS serverless architecture. So we have a client side which is being built using client side libraries like AngularJS and Bootstrap. User will be presented with a login page with which they will authenticate to AWS Cognito, and thereon in they will consume the APIs from API Gateway, which will use Lambda to store and persist the data and fetch data from Amazon DynamoDB. The same backend infrastructure is going to be used by the mobile side client devices, and the web application is going to be deployed on https travelender.com and is live at the moment. The mobile application, which is undergoing development, will be published to the Play Store and the iOS Store. Apart from the APIs which we are developing, we are using some third-party APIs mainly by Google. So there are a couple of ones which we are using. So one is the Google Places API, which is used for the autocomplete of places as the user types in a location. The next is the Google Distance Matrix API, so as to get the different modes of transportation and the time it takes for transit between a source and destination. The milestones for our project are as shown in this diagram. So the green ones are completed, the orange one is in progress, and the red ones are yet to be started. So we are done with the project environment setup, the authentication module, the calendar UI prototype, the integration of Google APIs, and the create, read, update, delete operation for the profile section and for scheduling a meeting. The algorithm for scheduling non-conflicting meetings is at the moment under progress, which is very naive. So we are detecting meetings which are directly clashing for each other with each other. For example, if there's a meeting from 7 to 8 p.m. and you're scheduling another one from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., it's a direct conflict. So it's not taking into account travel time. So that's the nature of algorithm at the moment. We have to build on that algorithm and try and incorporate more scenarios. The stuff which is yet to be started are the notifications module for sending notification and warnings, the mobile app calendar UI prototype, and the mobile app integration with the APIs. Now, once we complete the main functionality, we are going to be left with desirable features which we may want to incorporate, such as integrating with the Uber and Lyft APIs and possibly with the traffic APIs, and try and create an overall compatible schedule for a user. For example, a user who does not leave the home with the bicycle cannot use it to move between meetings during the day. And also integration with other calendars such as the Google Calendar or the iOS Calendar, which a user uses. Now, the links to our application are as listed over here. So we have our live application on travelender.com. We have a GitHub and Taiga Scrum board as well as shown in the links. So let's have a look at our application. So when a user visits travelender.com, they are automatically taken to the login page. In the login page, you have integration with social identity provider Google. You can sign up for the application. Since I'm already a registered user, I'm just going to sign into the application. Now, when you sign into the application, you're presented with a calendar interface and your meetings are retrieved. So for example, I have a project meet over here, which is automatically retrieved. I'm going to go ahead and schedule a fresh new meeting. I'm just going to name this M1 for convenience sake. I'm going to say that it's tomorrow 29th. It's from 3:46 p.m. till 5:46 p.m. I'm going to enter the location as Memorial Union. So all of this is using the Google APIs. And now this is using the distance matrix API of Google as well. So I'm going to say I'm going to go there driving. And here you can see that a meeting has been scheduled for 29, which is M1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the conflicting meetings now. So for example, if I schedule another meeting M2, which is on 29th and around the same time, so it's conflicting. So it's from 4:47 to 6:47. The location is all the way in Polytech campus. And if I select I'm going there using public transport and continue. So what I would get now is I would get an error message saying that this event conflicts with another scheduled event. Click continue to proceed anyway. So we are not enforcing a user to not schedule a meeting. Rather, we are subtly suggesting that there is a conflicting meeting. And ideally, going forward, we would like to list the conflicting meeting over here. So if a user clicks continue, you can see that the meeting does get scheduled as listed over here. So there's M1 and M2. Now, in keeping up with the CRUD operations, I'm going to show you delete. So a user can delete a particular meeting. They get a confirmation, they confirm their action, and the meeting does get deleted. They also can edit their existing meeting. So for example, I can edit this and I can say that this is a confirm meeting, and I can change the location to my work location. I shall explain where this particular stuff is being stored. And if I click continue, you can see that now this has changed. So this is a confirm meeting for 29. So where the home location and work location is being stored is in the profile section. A user can enter personal preferences as well, such as their lunch interval or dinner interval, such that no meetings overlap with that. Or for example, the maximum walking distance in a day. We can add on to this list of preferences, such as the maximum biking distance in a day, or to not use a particular mode of transport beyond a certain time. And they can click save, and they can of course change their home address and work location. For example, I'll change this to my home address, and I click save, and this is going to update the profile for a particular user. And then all meetings have start and end location are going to be based on this particular profile. So we'll come back to this particular site. Now another feature which another thing view which we have are the views up here. So for example, if I click on the year view, you can see that we have the year 2017. Clicking on previous and next will toggle accordingly. So we have all the meetings for November 2017. We can go on to the week view. So in the week view, you can see we have project meeting and this particular confirmed meeting over here. And likewise, a day view for 20th November, you can see that the day is listed over here. We also have resizable meetings in which you can directly edit a meeting duration just by doing this. So you can shorten or extend a meeting by doing this particular action, and it saves it in the backend. And likewise, you can also try and drag and drop an event to a different date. So for example, if I drag this particular event and I drop it over here, it has to change this particular date. So draggable and resizable events are working. And now in showing that all of this is keeping up in with respect to the sponsors requirements, I shall walk through the sponsors requirements to provide evidence that it meets it. So the sponsors requirements say that the goal of the project is to create a calendar interface, which we have, that automatically computes an account for travel times between appointments, which we are doing using Google APIs, so that you're never late for an appointment. The application should be user customizable. We have provided a section for the user profile in which the user can enter certain preferences, and we are adding to the list of preferences. Travelender should support a multitude of travel means, including walking, biking, public transportation, and driving, which is all what we have. And also, it is mentioned that the teams can adopt any development process, and we have adopted Agile, for which we are using the Tiger Scrum board to manage our sprints and user stories. And the environmental constraint, which states that the application should be web-based and run on most web browsers. So that's what we are doing. And backend platforms to use the team are up to the team to determine. So we have determined to go ahead with AWS. So that's the state of our current project. We are currently working on our algorithm, and with 3 more milestones to go. We'll be working on the mobile application the coming semester. We have the infrastructure in place, so we'll be doing that. Thank you.